All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ben's Brick Designs. I'm Ben. Thank you for being here. Happy Thursday. Hope you've had a good week. All right, good evening, everyone. Oh, I've left YouTube running in the background, and I apologize for that. I don't need that. I forget when I open up the chat that I don't need to leave that running. So welcome, everybody. Thank you again for all those who came by. Hello, Bev. Hello, Missy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for everybody who came by on Sunday for the 1,000 subscriber bonanza. And for those who played along with the sets, thank you for the people who considered donating the sets to the Dell Children's Hospital when we do our toy drive in December. I appreciate that. And thanks again for subscribing. It's been a fun 6 years, and unless I really decide that this isn't something I want to do anymore, it will be something that I'll probably do for another 6. We shall see. But today was the first time that I've been able to get a set and I just noticed that I missed a spot shaving today, so that's fun. This set is set to be released October 1st, so next week, but there are retailers that have already been putting it on their shelves, Costco and Kohl's for one, and there is a Kohl's by me, and so we are going to be doing the Nintendo Gameboy set tonight. Emiliano Espinoza, hello. Excited to watch this build. Greetings from Mexico. Greetings from Central Texas. Thanks for being on the stream. I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you are entertained and have some fun. And we talk about Lego, and you can tell us all about your experience with Lego and what you like the most. Thanks for being here. But yeah, this is a street dated early. They dropped this early in some locations of Costco's and Kohl's, like I said. So I was in the area of both of those. There's one right across the street from each other. So I went into Costco, didn't see it. Went into Kohl's and they had it. I also got a Kohl's membership so I can earn cash and whatever. And I'm like, I never shop here. Like, I'll be over here if somebody says there's going to be a Lego set. That's it. So this really isn't out on Lego.com yet. It's not out in stores yet unless you go buy one of those. So I apologize to all my my fan media people, my influencer people who either haven't been able to do this or this came out too early for them. But this is one of the few times I got it before I was able to find one in stock somewhere that was pre-street rated. So I'm kind of excited. It's not that big of a set, 421 pieces. Probably get through it tonight. I'll just go until it's done. It might be 2.5 hours, but we'll see how it goes. It doesn't look that big. If it gives you any indication, that's the controller piece. That's just a 3x3, so it'll give you an idea of how big the whole set is. But it looks like we also get to build a couple cartridges, so that'll be fun. And with some stickers for the screens. So it looks like there's going to be different screens. So let's pop this open. Again, thanks for being here. The run up to 1,000 subscribers was fun. Wouldn't want to do it again. I also wanted to apologize to Frankie, fan of the channel and kind of like in-person friend, lug member. He was at our meeting, and I didn't bring the set that he'd won. I thought he had said that he'd donate it, but it ended up he wasn't even in the stream. Like, he had said hi early on and then wasn't on. So I apologize to Frankie. I will be bringing this by our next meeting. 4 bags. 5 bags by the looks of it. So this should be pretty easy. These look a little small, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. And it does look like this is really great. Oh my goodness. I'm going to pop these open right now. So I'm going to try not to get my fingerprints all over these, but they're lenticular screens. I don't know if you can tell, but they move. So it looks like a loading screen, depending on how you look at it. That is fantastic. So this is going to be one of the cartridge pieces. I don't know what game this is. It looks like a Zelda game. It looks like Zelda. But it's got the hearts and the birds coming off of it. That's really rad. Maybe they will consider getting more. And this is Mario jumping up and knocking off hitting a question box and knocking a star out. So that's pretty cool. I had no idea what they were going to do that, so that's really rad. I'm going to try not to get my fingerprints all over those. I'll put those right up here. One thing to keep in mind, you can see the display of microfighters here. I'm going to have to build from this. There are a couple stickers. So we're going to get a Zelda and a Super Mario Land cartridge sticker. Put these over here too. There are no instructions for this yet online because it hasn't come out yet. So these will be paper instructions today. Haven't done this in a while. Hopefully I'm not using the mouse to try to keep scrolling through the instructions. So barcode on here, scan for points. The last couple times I tried to scan for points, it didn't work, and I had to contact customer service. And they were very nice. Lego customer service is always like the best customer service. I'm gonna turn the music a little down a little bit. They're always wanting to make you happy. They always replace parts. They always give you points. They're usually a day or two conversation back and forth. But I was like, I need to know how to be able to scan for these points because I haven't been able to. And they went through the basic tier 1 support of clear your cookies, clear your cache, restart your device, try a different browser. And I was like, okay, so in my first email where I said I'm on my phone using my camera to scan these QR codes, and I have changed my browser to 3 different browsers, and I have changed the security on all the browsers so it either allows trackers or it doesn't allow trackers. It blocks ads. It allows cookies or it doesn't. I have every DuckDuckGo browser. Every time you exit it, it goes away. So I've tried Vivaldi, DuckDuckGo, and Chrome. None of these are Windows browsers. So, or OS from a Mac. So I'm like, I don't know can I scan it from my webcam? So anyway, they're like, well, could you send us the pictures of the instructions and we can give you credit for them? I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really interested in the points as much as I am this working because I want to keep doing this, but if it doesn't work, why not? So they just gave me credit for the points, and then they're like, thanks for being patient, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, but the problem still exists. So what do I do about that? As always, these are going to open up in the Lego Builder app. So if you're still doing this, it doesn't just open up a web page. It opens the Builder app if you've got that installed. So thank you for selecting the Lego Gameboy. Insert to continue. You got a place to put in your cartridges. Handheld history. There's the history behind the set. So all this stuff is in the instructions here. It looks like they've got functionality for all the buttons we'll get to. It looks like there's a lot of internal parts going on, making it look like the interior of the Game Boy itself. Battery pack, heat sink, cartridge holder, that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is something to go ahead and read through if you wanted to. Like all Lego sets that are like the sort of icon level stuff, they'll have stuff for you to read in here. So we're going to get going. I think this first one, we're just going to be building a cartridge. Should be pretty simple. Right off the bat, nice printed tile there, Nintendo Game Boy. Try to keep my thumbprints off of that. Do you think there will be other Lego Nintendo console sets like the DS or the Game Boy Advance? I don't know. They've done several classic consoles. They've done the Atari 2600. They've done a Nintendo NES. Now they're doing this. They also have the big Pac-Man cabinet and the little arcade cabinet. So I'm not sure where they're going to go next, because they could do a GameCube, they could do a Sega Genesis, they could do a PS1. The problem with those is they become iconic because of the games they play, necessarily, not really how they look. Like the GameCube, probably one of the more iconic ones in terms of look. But everybody knows what like an Atari 2600 looks like, or early the NES. There's a person who's doing mini console builds where the controllers are like 5 pieces and they've got these little cables. They're mostly digital designs. I'd be interested to know if they actually get them built, because they look really fun. I don't know that Lego will do another one. Maybe they'll do more cartridge stickers, so you could have more cartridge and maybe more lenticular screens. That'd be kind of fun. But I don't know that they would do another, like a DS or an Advanced or a Game Boy Color or something like that. As it is, if there aren't terribly many specialized pieces in this, once the instructions come out, you can recolor it with any given piece and build your own, right? In terms of like similar, like Game Boy red, blue, yellow. There's a Pikachu one. There's a gold one, I think, for Zelda. There's 2 reds. One's for Pokemon. One's just a red one for something else. I looked a lot of these up. We only had the original one, so it'd be interesting to see what else they do with it. People get really excited. I am one of these people that get excited when something like this comes out, and the first thing you want is more of it. So like the Atari 2600 came out, and I'm being old. I'm like, oh, they could do it in television next, or they could do it ColecoVision next. When the market for that is very low. The market for a Game Boy is huge. Game Boy Advanced, slightly less, I think, but still there. What about game sets like Metroid or Kirby? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they would do that. I would love to get... I mean, they have done game sets. And I'll get to that in a second. I wanted to take a moment to talk about the beer that I'm having. It is a Pumpkin Bock by Tups. The Sensational Pumpkin Bock. They're out of... And they always cover up... This is out of McKinney, Texas, which is close by. I think I've had one of these before. Interesting. Not too bad. No weird aftertaste. This is my favorite time of year. It is Oktoberfest season, which means all the Oktoberfest beers are out. All right, here we got a little holder now for our cool screens. Trying to pick them up with my fingernails. So they want us to put these 2 in here for now. I'm guessing the main Nintendo one is going to be put up later. So they've done games. They've done Horizon Zero Dawn. They've done... Actually, they've done Horizon Forbidden West, technically. And Zero Dawn. Or no, they've done Horizon Forbidden West, because the tall neck was from Horizon Forbidden West. And then the set that we just got was from their own game. So it was from Lego Horizons Adventure or whatever. They've made Star Wars sets that have been from Star Wars games only. They've done Overwatch. They've done Fortnite. They've done Minecraft. We have an email security software at work called Mimecast. Mimecast. And every time I'm talking to somebody about it, I want to say Minecraft, and it just comes across really weird in an email when I'm like, check out our Minecraft. The word makes no sense to me anymore. Beth just got home, so give me 1 second to say hi to Beth when she gets in here. She should be building with us soon. Hello! How you doing? You don't feel good? Right to bed with you. Are you sure there's a salad in there for you? Tonight's a salad or a cereal night. Let me give you a quick kiss. Well, take care. I love you too. Yeah, I mean, this is, and I was saying this at the top of the stream, Johnny, that this was like the first time this has ever happened. Usually what happens is somebody says, hey, they've got all these at Kohl's or Costco, and I go rushing over there, and of course they're not there. So I'm fairly chuffed that I was able to get this early. So while I'm not happy you don't have it, I am happy that I'm able to build it. And if you missed earlier, this is kind of spoiling it for you, but the screens are lenticular images. So they kind of do that. That's going to be really fun. Yeah, like that always, it's either new stuff that's pre-street dated or it's stuff that's like ridiculously, if you have a Kohl's nearby, I would check them. There were 3 when I got there, and I told my group that there was 1 left or 2 left. So I don't know, give it a shot if you got one. We have a Kohl's right next to a Costco, so I went over, got like a smoothie, and then went to both places. Hey, yes, we saw each other at the game. I came by and said hello. And we had the most awkward fist bump of all time. I think I kicked over somebody's bag. I think I kicked over a travel bag for drums. Oh, you're cool. My Kohl's, the Kohl's that opened up by us, has a section that has a big sign that says Lego. They know that people are going. So, all right. So I'm not sure if this is pick one or pick the other. Can we do both? It just says one. So I'm going to go with them and say one. Missy says hi, Beth. Can't tell. I really want this to be right. And that's not it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not too bad. Oh, no, you're fine. Nope. I mean, I can say your name if you want me to, but... Okay. Yeah, I think I got you guys right before it was like the start of the second half, and I was just like, oh, I gotta go say hi to somebody. So, the Battle of Endor set, all figures fully complete in very good shape. Awesome. Is that the one you've been wanting for a while? All right, so there's your Game Boy cartridge. My son, well, my oldest child was on, if you were looking at whoever's doing capo in the middle, my oldest was capo on the left. So in the first half, it was Rowan and I forget what her name is, Kate Cat Lady Kate, Cat Lady Capo, something like that. They were over on this side. And then my youngest, Greg, was up with us the whole time. But I mean, I'm sure. 3 indoor sets, essentially. That's awesome. That's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, Lego and video games, they do have a bit of a past. And they tend to, with the exception of maybe, and they've done Animal Crossing too. So, and Animal Crossing's been a big hit, and Minecraft has been a big hit, and Fortnite has been a big hit. They stopped selling they stopped doing Overwatch sets, and I forget why. There's some reason where they're not doing Overwatch sets anymore. If anybody knows why, stick it in the chat. I just forgot. So yeah, if they wanted to do, I would love a Metroid set, to get back to your question. I would. I can feel my voice giving out. This is what happens when you're home all day by yourself and you don't talk to anybody, and then you go from 0 to 100. Your voice goes, "I'm sorry, did you need to warm up or anything first?" And you're like, "Nah, I got this." I would love a Metroid set. I think having a full figure built Samus would be really rad. I don't know how delayed this is, so I apologize if I'm over talking people. It seems like we're about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute behind. Yeah, they made a Battlefront set, Arkham Knight sets. Battlefront's also, yeah, they did a Battlefront battle pack. I would have liked to have had a Corvus with that. But we get what we get. MechOps, hello, how are you? Yeah, I would love a full built Metroid figure, like the droid figures, right? Full 10 to 12 inch figure of Samus. I think that would be great. I think Samus's ship is a little too obscure, but Samus herself is not. And having her and maybe a large Metroid would be great. I don't know that anything else is as iconic. What's the pirate's name? The pterodactyl looking pirate guy? I forget his name. Oh, 4 of these. Okay. He might be okay. The queen might be okay. But all the little things that you collect might be pretty good too. They chose to review their partnership with Activision Blizzard following a workplace misconduct lawsuit against the publisher, which revealed a culture of harassment and discrimination. Is that why they dropped Overwatch? That makes sense. Poor Overwatch. Ridley, thank you. God, I can't believe I forgot that. Oh, speaking of Bionicle, I'm going through, so my son had a bunch of old Lego that when he and my oldest were a certain age, they bagged up all their Lego and gave it back to me. They're like, "We love you. We know that you're into Lego. We're not so much. And so here's all the sets that you bought us. We think you would like them more. Also, please stop buying them for us for birthdays." And I'm like, okay. So like Rowan had a bunch of Friends sets and Greg had a bunch of Marvel sets, and it was kind of sad, but at the same time I'm like, sweet, more Lego. But I'm going through one of his boxes because I took the week off, so I'm like, I'll do some sorting. This has been I'm going to talk about this later, but this has been a great vacation, stay home, staycation week. I tell you what, I've been having such a good time. But I found this. I don't even know if that's just a hodgepodge of something else, but I'm like, okay, old Bionicle stuff. I know that there's more to it because I found the body. Also, Johnny, you'll appreciate this. I found this guy, non-Lego. I was actually going to message Greg and see if he wanted it still. I think this is only half. Like, I think there's another shell in here, or he had 2 sets because there was another shell in there. But I thought this was funny. And there's a motorcycle in here that has, I think that's Bowser's face on it. So I think this is supposed to go with that, but he doesn't really stay on here very well. There's little posts on there, but they're too wide for his feet. So I'm not really sure if this is meant for him or if it's meant for somebody else. Anyway, I thought that was fun. But totally non-Lego. I don't even know what company that is. Maybe it'll say on here. Is it Bionic or not Bionic? Mega Bloks? Did they have the series for this? I don't see a name on here at all. Yeah, there's no printing of any kind on here to say who did it. So, je ne sais pas, as they say in France. Banjo-Kazooie set could be kind of utopical, but definitely on my wish list for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different characters. Like a Star Fox would be great. Like a ship with a bunch of characters would be fantastic. The aforementioned Metroid. We've got a handful of Zelda sets. We got the tree, whatever the tree is. These are all games of Zelda that I didn't play, so. I played some of Twilight Princess. I played some of Majora's Mask. Like, I don't remember a lot of these games, but I don't replay them all that much. An R-Wing someone did? Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm sure you could find a lot of mocks for a lot of these. Mass Effect, I would love to see. I'm gonna make a. Oh, don't tell me. Starts with an N. The ship. That'll come to me, or somebody will say it in chat. The ship for Mass Effect. I've got a microfighter design for it. I would have to kind of... This isn't holding together really well, and I'm not really liking this. Is it intentionally not built very well? This is like real wobbly right here. And it's... There's nothing holding it in place really. And they didn't say flip it over and put something else on it. So, yeah, it's kind of funky. I'm hoping they say turn it over and do something else, because right now it's real wobbly and I don't like it. Dang. That's gonna bother me. Because my old brain is just not figuring it out. You would think that would be the first thing up there. Oh. The Normandy. Ah, I would have never got that. Been watching a lot of Stargate lately. Just watched like 2 episodes today. And the word Naquadah and Naquadria are stuck in my head, and that's all I could think of because they're another N word. N sci-fi N name. and I couldn't get out of my head. One of those funky brain things where your brain just goes, nope, I'm not going to let you think of anything else. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. It is the Normandy. I've got a couple that I've done that are not. Did I call it the Normandy? Huh. I thought I did a Normandy. Why is it not listed? I was pretty sure I did one. If I could spell. SSV Normandy. That's why. All right. So this is the SSV Normandy microfighter. And this is just it's supposed to be Sheridan, but it's just a laser blaster with like a helmet and space armor or whatever. My favorite part of this is these lantern pieces as the engines in the back. I thought that was inspired. So yeah, this might be one of the next ones I do, honestly. This is an easily kit bashable figure. So I might try to do that. And maybe somebody's got a Sheridan minifigure custom something. So yeah, I like that. Slowly trying to build up this isn't Star Wars section of microfighters. So and there are so many big named video game properties out there that lend themselves to being built out of Lego. I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I would be surprised if Lego never does another video game property again. It just doesn't seem like it would suit them. It would behoove them to miss out on that opportunity. In terms of Lego news lately, there isn't really a ton. Kind of scrolled through some alerts on some servers. It's like a Coral Reef exclusive out of Europe nobody here is going to get. There's behind the scenes videos about Lego Batman. New creator Halloween set. It's a ghost. I think it's got a light up brick. More talk about the Spidey figures, and there's an article about Mickey and Minnie Mouse for some reason. Oh, something that came across the news feeds today was that Lego is buying Lego Discovery Lands, which I learned today is not part of Lego. The Discovery Centers, Lego Discovery Lands, Discovery Centers are not Lego owned. I didn't realize that. They are owned by Merlin Entertainment. So they are officially buying them. Hopefully that means that we can now go to Discovery Centers and buy some stuff and get points for it. And also, this has always been the joke, maybe now we don't need to bring a child with us to go to a Discovery Center, because before it's always been you needed to bring a kid in order to gain access to a Discovery Center. I was like, there's got to be a business where you could rent out kids so you can take them into Discovery Centers. Transformers was They Will Never theme, and now they got 3 of them. Also Mario, yeah. I forget Mario's, a theme. The thing that I think is going to be impossible for them in terms of Transformers is they're never going to do a Megatron, and if they do, it's going to upset everybody because it's not going to be a G1 Megatron. And we've had a G1 Prime, a G1 Bumblebee, and a G1 Soundwave. So, I mean, if they do a G1 Starscream, is that going to be okay with everyone? But they're not going to be able to... they're going to twist themselves into something by rationalizing him turning into a pistol. If they do it. And maybe they can get away with saying it's because he's from an alien planet or something. But... oh, by the way... this, so we've got these little slopes that are 3 plates high instead of 4. They reduce the height of these guys, right? It's kind of a newish thing. I would say within the past 4 months, maybe, they've started doing these. Now we've got a 4 wide version of it, too. I haven't seen these around. So that's pretty cool. I just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, I don't know how they do the Walther P-38, but it's not a gun. It's almost like they should send out an email to the entire world and just say, look, we get it. We don't like making guns. We don't think that's a good thing to do. We don't really want to, but the only way to do this, people of the world, is to make a G1 Megatron and have it transform into this classic gun that was used in the Cold War, usually by Germans. Actually, it wasn't. I think it was a British gun. But either way, they're not going to be able to do it. So they're going to do a tank or a plane or something. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to have... I think the argument is you have to have a Megatron because you've got a Prime. And having a Bumblebee is fine, and having a Soundwave is fine. They are kind of similar rank. They're like Prime and Megatron's lieutenants. I think Starscream is more second in command, but I think Megatron usually trusted Soundwave more. I don't understand why this never plays more than like 4 songs and then just stops. So, I mean, yeah, we could get a Starscream, and I think they'd be all right with that, but I don't know. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. Says I dropped some frames, so everybody hold your breath. It may have been me. Okay, now that we've put the sides on, it's a little more stable, but not by a ton. So just keep an eye on that. So it wasn't you lagging, it was me dropping frames. Again, I'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully it doesn't just shut down like last time. I also found it hilarious that YouTube sent me a thing that says, congratulations, people have been coming to your channel. You've got 1,000 subscribers, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Can you do something about the lag, about me dropping frames to you? Because I'm pretty sure it's a server-side issue. But it's probably not a server-side issue. Oh, dropped a few more. Sorry. Like I have control over it. That's going to be a problem. Well, it goes up. 5% of my frames have dropped. It says I'm doing it at 60 kp or 6,000 kbps, but I thought I lowered that. Thought I lowered that to 2,500. I don't necessarily need it to be huge. Oh, I'll just keep going, keep plugging away at it. I keep looking up at the screen for the instructions. The instructions are not on the screen, you big dummy. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. So while the sound still works, I've chosen to finish playing Death Stranding 2. I got to a point where I got a platinum trophy. I 5-starred all my preppers. I upgraded all the roads. I built all the monorails. And I don't think I caught we got some short corner pieces too. So that's pretty cool. I don't think I caught all the albino animals, but I also found all the hot springs, found and dug all the hot springs. And I did all the kind of the hidden trophy things. Like you have to get 10 deliveries, 10 eliminations, and 10 recoveries from each continent or whatever it was. So I did all that. Yeah, I think it's them going... It's like they're not... I feel like they being YouTube, is having problems with what is being sent to them. Like I have a feeling it's trying to round robin, it's trying to load balance, and in the process of load balancing, it's dropping some stuff. That's just a suggestion. I don't even know if that's going to be right or not. So that game's done. I could have played for a little longer. I probably could have... what else was there to do? I'm trying to think. There was one BT that I didn't catch, and I was thinking about going and finding it. Because there's the big monsters you fight are called BTs. Actually, everything that is not a human is a BT. But there are different kinds of BTs, and some of them are big. And you can use these things called EX capture grenades to capture them, right? So if you wear them down and you get them down, their health bar gets down to red, you can throw this grenade at them, and it turns them into, instead of a regular chiral crystal, a gold chiral crystal, you get a white crystal. And if we pick it up, now you are able to kind of use that monster in other fights. So let's say you're walking along and the BT area kind of comes up and the tar comes up and a big monster comes after you. You can go into your weapons and say, I choose you, Pikachu, kind of thing. And that monster will show up and fight the monster for you, the other monster. So it kind of helps because then you can kind of sit back and take pot shots at it until it dies, which is kind of fun. But then in the meantime, there's one that I didn't catch. So there's this one that's kind of a sky manta ray looking thing, and it's just too high up in the air and I can never get a good angle on it. So it feels like I'm putting together a circuit board under here. Like there's a lot of these circuitry kind of colors going on here. It's kind of fun. So I went ahead and bought, I was under the impression, erroneously, that Ghost of Yote was out this week, as in today. And I mistimed my vacation for that. So it comes out it will be next week. So next Thursday, it'll come out, and I'll spend most of the weekend playing that game. I'm so excited for that game. In the meantime, I also bought Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga. It was Senua's Revenge or Senua's something was the first game. So now it's Senua's Saga. And I'm excited to play that. That was a gorgeous, gorgeous game. Really weird, really scary. If you haven't had a chance to play it, I would highly recommend it. Getting some good snot build techniques in here. Just kind of looking at that. That fills in a gap under there. So this wasn't on here originally. So we're filling in that little gap there. I don't know why it needed to be filled in this way, but we'll find out soon enough. I never had an original Game It? You mean Game Boy? You never had an original Game Boy? Everybody say hi to Chris. Chris, everybody. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, we had an original Game Boy, and then I think we had a second one, but I can't remember the model. I don't think it was a red. I haven't seen these in red. I'm kind of excited about that. This, of course, is my favorite piece. I don't think we had. I think there was a gold. We may have had a yellow. I think my brother had a Game Boy Pikachu version, so a yellow one. I never got an Advance. Never got a Game Boy Advance or a Game Boy Super or Color, Game Boy Color. We kind of stuck to the bigger consoles. For new people, if anybody's into comic books, Chris has got a very good channel about the art, the writing, the production, the history of comic books. Please give him a subscribe. He does good stuff. And we go back a bit. So Senua's thing, Return of Samus, yeah. I think I just maxed out Tetris on mine. I think we played a lot of Tetris and a lot of probably Super Mario World or whatever it was on. Played a lot of that. The Game Boy comics. Well, so what was the movie that was out recently? That was just about Tetris. It wasn't about anything else, right? The Taron Egerton spy thriller that was... What was that called? What was that about? It wasn't Game Boy. It was just about Tetris. It may have been a little more pricey. I mean, they've done stuff like that, but I think they've had a thing where you can, a lot of what Lego wants to do is connect to another device. Like, they don't want to have to make this the end all be all of whatever it is. It wasn't Kingsman. It was Taron Egerton, but he was a developer or he was something, and he was working with the U.S. government about getting technology from Russia because gaming was this big thing in the 80s, but it was a Russian programmer, and they were trying to get his game Tetris over to Nintendo. And I forget, I don't think it was the Game Boy, but maybe it was the Game Boy. I watched it and thought it was a great movie. Now I can't remember what it was. In terms of making a playable game, I think you could probably, and I'm sure there are people who are going to, this is going to be big enough where you could cram like a Raspberry Pi board in here and an emulator and figure out how to make your own Game Boy with the Lego. At this point, buy a Game Boy. I think the point of getting the set is to have the nostalgia of seeing the thing on a stand or something like that. So, hey, Greg, what's up? Yeah, what was that movie called? I'm going to look it up. Sorry. It was just called Tetris. It's a solid spy movie. Like, it really is. Like, I didn't have any expectations going into it, and I just walked away going, this is a really, really good movie. I'm trying to see where they say if it was just for Tetris. Yeah, it was for the Game Boy. So, yes, Greg, I got mine at a Kohl's. I know that I checked my Costco, but they didn't have one. So I ran over to a Kohl's, which every time I go into a Kohl's, whether I'm looking for Lego or returning something from Amazon, it's always a little weird because it looks like where my mom shops. Kohl's is basically. Look at this piece. Okay, first of all, can we just admire this piece? First of all, it's a print, right? It's not a sticker. It's a corner curved wedge slope piece. Look at, it's got a very small declination on that one corner. That's something special, man. Maybe they'll come out with these, and this is the first time I've seen this piece. Maybe they already have some, but this in a myriad of colors, and you can make all kinds of stuff with that. Anyway. Got the minifig scanner app so I could get Spider First figs I wanted. So I've done something with that before. There's a company called Minifigs Plus. It's out of the UK, and they basically sell, and they're not the only ones. They will sell whole series of the figures for like $65. It does eliminate the fun of a blind purchase, you know, or going in and scanning it with your QR scanner. But, like, I got all the space figures that way. It's like, I'm not going to resell all my doubles. There are people that will do that, where they go through the blind box, blind bag process, but then they will sell off all the extras that they get. And I'm not about that. I'm like, I don't want to waste time doing that. So there's a couple companies that will definitely the thing about these companies is that you have to wait till the CMFs come out. So if you're really chomping at the bit, you can hit the stores right as they come out and buy a bunch. You can buy a whole case, and in the case is almost, I think it's like guaranteed, or it's pretty close to guarantee of getting a full set. It's like if you open up the case of it, it's like one row is a full set and the others are extra or something like that. But that's like $130 or something. So you're getting a lot of extra, and then you can sell off the rest to make some of your money back. But or you can go the route of, why isn't this? Oh, you have to turn it. Okay, it's like, that's not right. Or you can blind buy it and have some fun with it. It's up to you. You know, whatever you feel like doing. Soundwave was a treat to build. It was definitely a treat to build. I agree. I played with that sound brick way more than I should have. In fact, I still walk by, and it's up on a kind of a high shelf with Prime and Bumblebee. I'll just walk up and go be like, poke. Ooh, these pip tiles with pips, I call them. They're 1x1 round tile with bar or something like that, but in this weird lime light spring green color. I dig it. One of these is going to be extra, I can tell. But yeah, you can do that however you want. Minifigs Plus, that's the usually. So it might take you a couple weeks to get it because they have to get the figures first, and then they go through the process of figuring out which ones are in which bag, and then they send you a complete set. If that makes sense. Well, yeah, now you get to